Hey guys, it is Jess. Welcome back to my channel. So first of all, I don't know what it is. I have like a not a sore throat, like a strained voice. I feel like I've been working at home lately and I haven't been talking like during the day quite as much as what I normally do. And I just like feel like my voice is like out of practice. So doing these voiceovers sometimes just give me a sore throat at the moment. I don't know, like it's weird. It's weird. Anyway, today's speed build is a subscriber request. If you didn't know, I do take like build requests and stuff. I really enjoy doing them and I just find it really fun. It's like a really good way to do something different, do something that I know at least one person will like. And yeah, I don't know, like it's really good. I don't have to like choose all the building stuff myself. I can just kind of like rely on somebody else to tell me what to build, so it's like a nice little break as well in a way. So this particular speed build, it has two teacher parents who are like into sort of like books and reading and stuff, and then there are two like children, so one's like a girly girl and then like a shy, not sporty boy. And then there's a toddler girl who is like sporty. So what have we got? So we've got, yeah, like a girly girl, a shy boy, and a sporty toddler. And then in this particular house as well, they have like a old-fashioned grandma living with them. So that was really cool because I was able to like, know exactly what to do for each of the bedrooms just based on the personalities that I was given. So if you do want to make a request or anything, definitely pop that down below. Just like let me know what sort of bedrooms you want, how many bedrooms, any particular rooms, what packs you have, etc. Just so that I actually like know what to do. This particular build does have some limited packs in it as well, and the kind of like special features or like special rooms, there is like a play area and a library. So when I was doing the exterior of this house, I kind of knew that I needed particular rooms. So I sort of did like the floor plan as I was building. So I kind of like built in squares and I was like, okay, roughly this will be this room and that'll be that room, and kind of just did it that way, which I do find sometimes it's a lot easier. Yeah, I don't know, then you don't have to worry so much about doing the floor plan. And then as far as like the second story goes, I just kind of built that in a way that I thought looked good and then fit the bedrooms into it. I tend to not have a lot of trouble doing second stories for floor plans. I just find them to be like a lot easier. The first story, like where the kitchen and the dining and lounge room goes, I find is the hardest bit, and then the second story just kind of seems to come together nicely most of the time anyway. I really like this house. So one thing that I'm like unsure of maybe, or like I wish that maybe I had done better, was the exterior wallpaper. But I feel like that with most builds, I feel like it's my weakest point, the thing that I struggle with the most. So I went with this like brick, but I don't know, I feel like if you wanted to change it though, at least it's an easy change. So out of all the things that I could be bad at, I feel like exterior wallpaper is probably one of the better ones because it's so easy to change it. Like if I was bad at landscaping or something, you'd have to like go around and like change so many different things. This way you can just like slap on some new wallpaper and be like, much better. But yeah, I find like bigger homes are a lot harder to get the wallpaper right on. So, that's just what I did. I also did this thing with like the front garden where I wanted it to be like kind of enclosed, like a white picket fence sort of thing. So I did like a mixture of the fencing and the hedge fencing, like the picket fence and the hedge fencing, because I just didn't want it to be like too stark white with all white fencing. So I kind of mixed it up a little bit with the hedging as well, and I thought it gave it like the appearance that it was sort of like a little bit overgrown as well. I'm pretty sure I saw I think it was a video that Deligracy did where she kind of did like the mixing of the fences, and I really liked the way that turned out. So that's where I got that idea from, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and then I'm just kind of going around and doing some basic sort of landscaping. Because I was going for like a whole white picket fence thing, I did want to put in like a lot of flowers and trees and shrubs and kind of just make it look really homey, really well lived in, like, hey, these people have definitely lived here. So yeah, it's definitely very, very landscaped. I also went in with the the pavers like you saw before, and was just trying to do like a paved sort of feel. And then I like the pavers that I use because they've kind of, it looks like they've got like grass growing in between the individual pavers, so it sort of looked a little bit like, I don't know, like it was meant to be there, like it's one with the grass or something. I don't know where this is going, but I like the pavers. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah, and then I just wanted to put something in the front of the fence, so I just kind of put like a couple little planter pots because I felt like it might be a little bit bare otherwise. But yeah, I really like this garden. I think it's really cute and cool, and like if I actually went outside, I feel like I could have a garden like that, you know, but I don't go outside because it's either hot or cold and there's bugs out there. But anyway, we're doing the backyard now. I did use different tiles or floor, I was going to call it floor paper. What is it called? I'm having the biggest mind blank right now. Just different pavers out the back because I didn't want to use like as much as I really like the ones I used out the front. They definitely look like, they don't look like pool pavers. They look like pavers that you would put on top of grass. But anyway, that's what I did. The backyard's like not too big, so it wasn't particularly hard to kind of, you know, furnish and decorate and everything. But I did go in with a lot more of the plants. I put a pool in, and I just kind of put in as many kind of outdoorsy things as I could because I did know that there were going to be like kids in this build. So I put in like the swing set and everything and put some lights around. So I still think it would be like a pretty cool place that your Sims could like come out and do a few things, like do some swimming and play on the swing set, etc. And yeah, just kind of going around and like fixing up all the fences and just doing all that like general landscaping and whatnot. And then I put in the trusty little planter box things. If I don't know what to put somewhere, I just do the planter boxes because I feel like it's a really good way to just take up some space. And I did try and put a little bit of like terrain paint under the swing set just to kind of make it look like it was well used, I suppose, instead of just being like really green grass underwards, which isn't particularly realistic, I suppose. Then we're doing the kitchen, and I really like this kitchen. I love how it's like all kind of like corner bits and everything. I don't know, like it's not just like a standard shaped kitchen. It's just kind of like cool and a bit, you know, I don't know, I like it, it's cool. So yeah, it did take me a little bit just to kind of get the configuration right and decide where I wanted to put particular items and everything, but I do go back to that original one where I put like the fridge over with the rest of the counters, and then I put in like kind of like some cupboards over where the fridge originally was, just so I guess, I don't know, like I feel like sometimes I look too much into it, but I wanted there to be like a bit of extra storage, so I just put in that like kind of, we would call that a pantry or a cupboard where we are in Australia, but like, you know, the tall cupboard where you put all your food in it. I'm trying to think, I think it's, yeah, no, totally people in America have that. I'm like trying to think of my family that lives in America, and I'm like, do they have a cupboard? Yeah, we kind of call it a cupboard or a pantry. So I've spoken too much about it already. Let's move on. Just kind of going around and adding the decorations in. Another thing that did kind of take me a little bit, and you'll see that it sort of changes a little bit as we go through the build of the kitchen, was the wallpaper in the kitchen. Just because there were like so many like straight and cornered walls, I didn't really know which walls I should put like tiling on and which ones I shouldn't. So it does change around. I think at the moment there's like 3 different wallpapers in here, but it does get fixed by the end of the video. It's just kind of, I went back and forth and changed it a lot. So when I was editing it, it probably came up a little bit strange. That's like one thing with doing like builds. It can be hard sometimes with the editing, because it's like, you don't need to see every single time I change my mind about the wallpaper, but then it shows up a little bit strange, but we get it sorted. I'm pretty sure it's not this wallpaper either. Anyway, we get there in the end. And then on this little like island counter, I just wanted to make it a little bit like used and lived in kind of. So I put the little plant there and the box of tissues. I kind of figured like your Sims would maybe be able to do their homework there or something like that. I feel like when I was younger, like I would always sit at our kitchen island counter and like do the homework and have my mum, actually no, it was never my mum, it was my dad. My mum never cooked, and my dad was always really good at maths, which is like what I was bad at. So while he was cooking dinner, I would just like sit there and do my homework. So that's kind of what I was going for there. And then with this living room, I'm not even kidding, I don't know what it was, but it took me forever. like so long. I think it took me like half an hour of just like changing and deleting and going back and forth before I finally decided on this color scheme and this layout. And I'm like still changing it a little bit. So that's why it was kind of already half furnished when I started this particular room in the speed build, because it just took so long. I find that I do that sometimes. I just have this one room where I'm like, I just can't. So I just like step away for a little bit and then I come back and like reassess it. I don't know why. It's so random because it's a very standard shape as well. Like it's just a lounge room, but it gave me a lot of grief, but I really like the way that it turned out in the end. And again, just trying to make like the sort of the living areas tidy but still a little bit lived in. One thing I do find with The Sims is there's not enough like practical clutter, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Like I feel like the houses always look really clean, really crisp, like really new. Like even if you kind of go with like a more old style, it just looks like really nice and clean. Whereas like in reality, you know, homes, we've got stuff everywhere. We've got trinkets and like, especially if you have kids, I imagine you just have like toys and stuff everywhere. So I do really want to see like just some more realistic, usable clutter. That'd be really awesome. But I feel like I said that every single speed build and it still hasn't happened yet. So maybe it just won't ever happen, but we'll see. Doing the like kind of walk-in area. I feel like most homes have like a little entry area to them. Usually not that big, like it's a very generous size for an entryway, but I just kind of added in a few little things that I thought made sense. I don't know. And then this little kind of weird shaped room here is the dining room, and I really like the way it turned out. It's kind of like a dining room slash like a hallway to the bathroom and what will eventually be a library. So it turned out really cute. I really liked it. And again, just kind of going with like that sort of clean, lived-in sort of furniture. I also love that we can change the style of the stairs now. So I think that the stairs look really cool there. And it's like a cool way to use up that wall. I find that sometimes when we have to do like, when it's just like a straight set of stairs, it's like kind of awkward furnishing that part of the wall. But with like L-shaped stairs and stuff, I feel like it looks really good. So now we are doing the library portion of the build. So this took me a little bit as well because I wanted it to obviously be like a library with lots of books and stuff like that. But the shape of the room was a bit strange and I was kind of debating what else to put in there aside from like books, because I was like, okay, I feel like it could be like a library but also doubling as a skill building room. So I do end up putting in a chess table, and I'm pretty sure on that wall where the desk is I end up just putting another bookshelf, because it's like it's a library, so it makes sense to have lots of bookshelves. But I just wanted something else in there that wasn't, I guess, like book related. And I also put in like heaps of little like chairs and cushions and stuff because I just wanted it to be like a really cozy little place where you could just go and like chill out with a book and read. And then yeah, here is where I'm just putting in that little chess table, which I feel like really suits the room. I don't know, like it just felt very zen, skill based, sort of quiet zone. So I really like the way the little library turned out. I think it's a really cute addition to have in a speed build, like to have in a house and stuff. Now we are doing the downstairs master bedroom. So I put the parents' bedroom downstairs, and then upstairs I put the 3 kids' bedrooms and a really big bedroom for the grandma that lived in the house. I wanted the grandma's room to kind of be like a place where she could go and like spend a lot of time and all that kind of stuff. So I just sort of put that upstairs a little bit separated from the other bedrooms. But you could definitely change the rooms around and have the grandma living like downstairs instead, which now that I'm thinking about it probably makes a little bit more sense, but it's not going to make a big difference. Like you can easily change those bedrooms around, and I think that, well, it would definitely still be the same kind of thing. So I just went very kind of like genetic bedroom, and I did want to put in the chairs in the bedroom because they're like teachers who like to read. So I kind of put that into consideration and put just like a lot of spaces where Sims can like sit down and build their skills and do reading and stuff like that. And then I also put in the desk as well. I'm pretty sure I don't put a computer on that desk either. I just kind of made it like a writing desk. So now we've gone to the upstairs area, and I just didn't have quite enough floor space to do like a legitimate, like a separate room for toys. So I did this little landing area up here and just made that like a toy room, toy zone. And I still think it turns out exactly the same. And it was just a different way to use a landing. I find that like hallways and landings and stuff, I end up just putting a bunch of like random decorative items down. So this kind of makes it a little bit more functional and everything. So I was really happy with how it turned out. I think it looks pretty cute. And then I just wanted to find like as much kid-based stuff as I could. And I was trying to find that thing in the Parenthood pack. It's got like the wood and then it has like the pictures coming off it. And I couldn't find it. And I don't know what it is. I can never find that item in the Parenthood pack. Like I look and I look and I look and I can never find it. So I ended up putting something different there and just like kind of giving up. This is the girly girl room that we're doing now, and it probably is a little bit too old for a child. So I really wanted to do just something very generic, neutral, white, kind of like Pinteresty, because for me, like, girly girl is a very generic sort of term, but when I'm thinking girly girl, my mind kind of goes to like that sort of Pinterest style of stuff. So I started off doing it like that, and then I was like, oh, maybe it's a little bit too, like, just like that little bit too mature for like a child. So I do try and add some decor in there that kind of brings the age down a little bit. So I end up getting rid of like some of that makeup decoration stuff, because I was like, okay, maybe not. And I just tried to think like, I don't really know what the ages are for child's terrible English, for children in The Sims. But I think that it's kind of like, you know, maybe like around 12, like up to 12 at least. And when I was that age, I was really into like skincare for some reason. Like I loved going to the shop and just getting like, you know, moisturizers and all that kind of stuff, and just having like some makeup. I never even wore it. I just kind of, I think I felt like I was older, or like kind of felt like my mum when I kind of wore makeup and stuff like, oh, sorry, when I owned makeup. So yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. Like just sort of young, but still maybe, you know, transitioning into teen. So I feel like you wouldn't have to change much when this child ages up, because the bedroom's already pretty suited to that particular age group. Yeah, and as I said, just trying to think about like what I would have liked. I would have loved that bedroom when I was like 11 or 12. I would have just been like, oh my god, beside myself. I would have felt like such like a older than I was, and I feel like that's a thing when you're little. So anyway, whatever. This is the grandma's area. So I made her bedroom the one that has that little balcony on it. It's not the most functional balcony. I think like one chair fits on it, but I just kind of figured that she's kind of got her own little space. She could like sit in this little corner bit here and do some knitting or something, because since doing this build, the Nifty Knitting Pack came out, and I know that the person who is using this build got the Nifty Knitting Pack. So I imagine that the grandma is sitting on that little chair in the corner doing some knitting. I also added a few plants in, because I feel like grandmas love plants. My grandma loves plants, so I'm just kind of like being a little bit generic here. Actually, speaking of it, one grandma loves them and the other one doesn't care for them, but you know, I know a lot of grandmas that like plants, so that's what we're going with. I did have a little bit of trouble just kind of getting the configuration of this side of the room, because it was like one big wall, but not quite. So it just took me a little bit. I didn't want it to look too like same. So I ended up just, I don't actually remember what I did. I think I just put the plant there. And yeah, that's it, the mirror, because I didn't want to have like two photos that looked funny together. Anyway, it turned out cute. I really like it. The grandma was supposed to be like quite traditional as well, so I did go with like a darker and like more sort of older color scheme. And I do end up changing the wallpaper in this room just to match the general color scheme of the build a little bit as well. I guess in reality, like, you probably wouldn't just have like one random room in your house with like a totally different wallpaper, but we're just gonna roll with it. That maybe she just wanted, you know, she just wanted like a darker themed room, so she just, I don't know, like painted the wood of her room or something. I don't know. But it was really fun doing this room. I just feel like it's really kind of like cute and old style, which I just really liked. And now we're doing the toddler's room, and this one I actually found quite hard. I always find toddler rooms hard because I feel like the bed is too small, and it just like totally just ruins my whole like whole vibe, but you should still be able to put in a normal size bed and have it all still be like playable, because that's one thing I hate when you do like a toddler's room and it's like all perfect and then you have to like rearrange the entire room just to accommodate like a normal size bed when they become a child. So I always try to keep that in mind when I do toddler bedrooms. And this toddler was the sporty toddler, so I definitely went in there and was trying to make it like, I don't know, again, very generic, but I'm like sporty, probably like a little bit outgoing, like really into bright colors and stuff like that. So I kind of like went with it like in my own mind a little bit and was like, yeah, I'm just gonna roll with it on that. So there's heaps of colors, there's no like particular color scheme, it's just like rainbow. I guess it's like a lot of yellow. I don't know. I just wanted like cool, nice, bright colors. And I put lots of posters up. I put up like the little are they surfboards? No, they're not surfboards. What are they? Skateboards. I put those out because I'm like, yeah, that's sporty. I kind of realized it's like not a whole lot of sport related decor in The Sims 4. Like I never really noticed until I actually did this build and I was like, oh, what do I put in? So yeah, I don't know. I thought this room was really cute and like a little bit, again, stereotypically tomboy, but I really liked the way that it turned out. And then this is the last bedroom, which is the shy boys' bedroom. So I just went very like plain with this one, just very grey, a little bit of green, but nothing too out there. I just made it very generic, very plain and simple, but I love how it turned out. I don't know, I really like the grey wallpaper, so I just kind of like modeled everything off that one grey wallpaper. And yeah, I don't know, like for something so just like neutral and plain, I really like how it turned out. And I did put a few little like books and stuff in there because I was like, yeah, that suits if you're a bit shy, maybe you like to read. I don't know, reading's good because you can like kind of be entertained without having to actually talk to anyone. It's great. Yeah, so just definitely going in and just sort of trying to not make it look like too mature, but also, you know, not too out there. So I also did that cool thing with the side tables from the toddler update where I kind of made them into like a corner bookshelf, and I really liked the way it turned out. I thought that it just added something to that corner without having to put like a plant or a chair or like a lamp, like the normal culprits that you'd normally put there. So that was really good. Also, like not so fun fact, I have been interrupted like 3 times now doing this voiceover. It's like my throat hurts and I just want to finish my voiceover. Can everybody leave me alone? And like everyone just wants to talk to me right now. But anyway, random, no one really cares. We're nearly into screenshots as well now, which is good. So I'm gonna leave you guys here with some music. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. I don't know, I never say that, but I am this time. So yeah, thank you guys for watching and enjoy the screenshots. Bye.